was just a golden chance on my side. I know you had so very many people on the list that you would have invited. But amongst all those people, you had to say, Honorable Nyakato Asnas has been a chief guest. Thank you very much. I greet you all once again in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And I also want to thank you for the very good work you're doing for us, the very good work you're doing for our society, the very good work you're doing for the communities that you come from. Coimbra Catholic Diocese, you're one in a million. This is the first of its kind, the first summit that I ever attended from this region, which has been organized by the Catholic institution. And to make me happy, specifically now for the media, most times you have been attending very many workshops, very many summits, and you normally come as guests, you normally come as the co-state. And in the speech of Ate, he said, this is our own summit. It is ours. So I call upon you to open up, discuss freely. I know you have very many facilitators who are going to talk to you, but let it be an engaging process. And you have not participated. Open up your minds. I know you are going through too much about the state, but you have been so persistent. I'm about to go and boxing among my that's command. The media who have made me who I am today. I know it has not been easy for me. Look at 2011. You have indeed done a great job. You have promoted me. You have been prophecies of the positives about my country. And omulama kwa kirokini ubaire media as a means of evangelization and integral development. I'm going to be so brief. We won't have a boring evangelism abakusinga mukimanyi. Kubanyira okuba okwasipika Wema West Division amuti emewe obira abantu. Kumanyira omubaze balize bali kwetana iwo munyamahulu osega balira ko eriwe. Munyamahulu wa Paris sector. Paris sector. Amuti bali munyuyi. So, omulama wetukugawa media as a means of evangelization and integral development. Evangelization abakusinga mukimanyi. It is about spreading the word of God. Kuba sekigambo kya Mukama Ruhanga kyokka ntulaba omulimo guno gutuuko gwa banyamahulure kandi integral development is all about holistic development. General nti ndi munyamahulure owa Coimbra Catholic Diocese owa Radio Maria kyokka mu mirimo yange I cannot only move spiritually ojja kwesanga socially, economically, politically okuba nakolaki what are you? So integral development is the development which is holistic. Putting aside the spiritual part of our media works, bringing in the economic perspective, bringing in the social perspective, and politically, work politics. No mudini kwesanga hari mukana work politics kandi politics yo yabakori poite turi baitu buno muntu bawulibyo ko hamuri monte itu nkabanyabakure kora tibaitu in your profession, in your work, in your duties as a journalist, as a media professional, as a first estate ojja kwesanga hari politics kada nanka tinakona ko so how can we go about them? Corona to asigara. Koromuri mugunu, uraba mukigambo, urubase kigambo kama Ruhanga, but so economically, ni mukimanya tulungiti, no kuli mukerezia. When you are economically weak, no one of us only mugunu, you always be unhappy. No kwesangira bakutumiregenda kusaluza amakure kitoba ngaha atiyo basindikiendeza transport zirimu ati nali ngenzere mu kire yo na transport yakozere. So spiritually you are strong, but economically you are weak. And I want to appreciate Radio Maria and the Holy Catholic Diocese and station zetu zikora kwa urungi mwansi. You are doing that community service volunteerism. Ndero kwesanga cyali mwana wa musirikangera saruze kuri ngomba gambire no facilitation kandi radio na yeti imerire kunga kubani betali ko muri mwe kuragize preaching the gospel. Abantu bayitu kubahereze kigambo kiamuka makendeza the people acts in society. So now it is about mbero genzere kuye ibule na kurant wewe ngenzere kabari ngekure mwana nko ko habyo mukoro but at least some small facilitation, at least small lunch current, we keep moving each other. Ekigambo force state kikaijaho na muno bwire bwa government zarabire hezeza omukuru amini omukuru oboti bwire bwa omuntu yakakishagina ngale bi Uganda yayirangira na president. So atobona abakozeka tahire mu state house, and perhaps the reason now you people abamwa bakira koisa the force state mukyo muntu kira koisa the media our journalists. So to examine now the power of the media in community service, in influencing public opinion, so paramount. Ungenzi President Amini uliambia Radio Uganda ngamba katika community kozere ilikuwa ile the power of the media. Ungenzi President Obote na uyekira Radio Uganda masle bihamba bikwasi ngamba nawo the president yarangira. So the power of the media, that's why people, you are so important in community status to program. We value you so much. You can determine public opinion. You can be the mindset of the societies and two program. You are a link between you are a link between government, the state, and the communities that we lead, and the communities that you come from. So, as we open up this summit, we want to summit that who have been so persistent. I know you're going through too much. If you move to a zone to tell you something, Kabekule Pesvanyu in Parliament, Kabekule Pesvanyu in Council, the country now is speaker of one of the divisions in the city. Sometimes I have a moment to hear to meetings. How can we go about this? We can write a petition which we can Parliament. Now the other time we are pushing for minimum wage, of course now we are because different institutions, private institutions in the government, they couldn't harmonize. But also, can the institutions in the government is not a nyingi. Toko esanga kote leki tumikiriziwa atinywe anakusaka makuru atinywe abali force state no esanga wasigaraka amusaraka kandi atitwa yekulembeze kugamba kule tugenzuba wewe government na yekola. Yesterday on Parliament of Mareki by Yoga. I just covered for a long time. Government white So, creo que usaba tuongere kutumikiriza abaruhanga further referral ya kofi abalizekigambo kya love engonzi faith ni keki kiwe murunyoro okuikiriza hope niko okunihira kati tuongera humility ni kintu okwebundaza humility transparency omusingi gw'obukatuliki mulingo gugamba transparency ni transparency kuba bamananu being accountable biliona the values of the Catholic Church stands for that accountability ni kirangiro embalirira bantu beregenda kutuliza eirure Catholic Paris uliyanga Catholic Paris obungezera amahule ganu gane gojigate kandi okuba bamananu inyo abamahule abanyamahule bikantamina kwero omuntu atite kapolisi abalidas sakubaza ebigambo kikumi okubanga ekirungi kimuno okubasaba kiyona kozere ikintu ndako omuntu but you also have the capacity yogama na katoni katobutere ombigambo ikube bimbalizi ndikuba mekimunikeni mukolaki but I want to thank you habo musige gwe okatolika gumulimo you are not those terrorists you are not that media personality abakuhindura ebintu upside down so nimalira wasaba tugonze omulimo gwetu guno hagati y'okumugiriza kwingi tukimanya nti musayi byanguhire we all start small and mpora okuba n'omutima omugayiga okulimu obwa Ruhanga okulimu okugonza okulimu amananu okulimu engonzi zekichoka na mbere okuruga I believe you will be a rich person abamu twige na mbere tukire abo kumisiriza abo kuba na amanana gatukubagana abo kuba n'engonzi abo kwikara n'okunihira wa mamani kiro kino mugeze bonyine sibirenja chonka kusibirenja cyo kumasa na kujya kusibirenja abungeze kwingeze kubasana transport endesere misa bali no kuleta kugarura otakuwa amani lemeraho hagati yebo byona bacho kumire amusinge gwa values za Catholic Church okumisiriza ekanise Catholic tugamba tukumira muki amutaki baza kumungu kumira mukiriza ngo tukozere ki kiro kine bitu bibinye cyabijya kuba kiri debigambe bingi muno I declare this meeting is opened for God and my country. We love you so much. Umukuwanira kugarura uyako kuhangwa yale emiti yonko kusaba kwange kusaba samitemu chacha kino tekuna campaigning kusaba tuyale emiti nambero kakiro kino tukigura samitemu I know activities are zoning munezi gendo maiso kusaba bulomura rugano gendo mukobyalo in memory of this summit, in memory of the activities that take place, specifically the Fosse State and the Catholic Diocese of Hoima, can then you come in Mahul every day. Okay, I think my suffer that you might have. I'm requesting the public hero and the Mahul in America had a key as a key of climate change is real. amafuta gano gayizire tukwenda gatubeere gw'omugisa emiti ejja kutuyamba kusika omwiko obucaafu guno gutwakubaire yaitweka abantu ebirwaire bikayire bya kansa abakazi kulu gwa mwenda kandi kusaba by 2025 mbere batugambe the first drop mbere agenda kuba ne at least the green cover bekozereki for God and my country mukaba bahereza omugisa.
Thank you very much, our Honorable Member of Parliament, Chokma City, Honorable Nyakata. Next remaining with 3 activities. That is presentation, discussion, and the way forward. And then we shall also have an official closure. Just with us, we have our agenda. I just wanted to split this evening. And then I welcome Enganjani. I will use our local language. Enganjani ya Mahuri. Honorable Engineer thank you so much for accepting our invitation and then being with us. I know you'll be with us till the conclusion of our summit. And then next on the agenda, next on the agenda, we have a presentation from the parish priest Kasimbi, and okay. Before we go to the next presentation, I've just amended in our agenda, and now I've just dictated, but through consultation, we shall have a group photo for our Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Nyakata Snas, goes away. There are many activities that she's going to participate. So just a request in like 2 or 3 minutes, you can arrange ourselves and then have a group photo, and then we let her go. That is the humble request. Cameramen have guided that you can stand outside.
Everything katika hili ni testimonies and in them photos. You might don't want photos.
How will I be in that photo? Because you said it is America to what? Say it America. But it is enough kwa hata nimetereza chini. I also want to be there. I'm so small. Yoga mnaona? Aha. Yojeramu? Aha. Sina mara.
Maana ila kaniza kushora munoya.
Yoga mnaona?
Sana hinja kulejaga.
Nkiingira meeting ya YouTube nkiingira kaijira tunaijira
Kaina.
Those outside, please join us. I think now we've gotten the interview. On our agenda, we have a break. We've gotten our break. Yes, break, and this has been even music. We have had some music, entertainment, the inter-America jokes, and this has done our break. So on our agenda, we have break and interview. So I would request that after the presentation from Reverend Father John Mary Musogoza attend, we can directly dive to the discussion and way forward. Then it will depend on the mood. Then we can have our chief guest officially closing this media summit. Reverend Father, next on the agenda is Reverend Father Musogoza John Mary Ateni. Father Musogoza John Mary Ateni is the parish priest, as I told you, and then the former editorial director, Radio Maria, former director of social communications, Department of Catholic Diocese. Welcome, Ateni. Yes.
Those are another Georgia T.N. catechist. Yes. Way to guest of honor, Engineer Julius Atubula, Amote, Reverend Father Patrick, Stephen Muke, Executive Director, Social Communications Department, dear participants, you are different capacities. I'd like to take this moment to say thank you to God who has brought me here through the invitation of Father Patrick and you members. I want to thank the previous presenters because they have already done a good part that I'm supposed to be doing, and I think I will take about a few minutes to give my paper presentation. There were so many expectations, so many. One of them, we just said we should be once very interesting interesting and active presenter. So you can stand up because you've been asked to be very, very lively, and the liveliness will come from you. So, somebody who knows this song, Aina Mani, Aina Mani, Aina Mani, Aina Mani, Aina Mani, Aina Mani, No, it was much easier for me when I was still in Radio Maria and I was having those presentations of catechism and other programs on Radio Maria, and it was so easy for me to do things like this, sitting here and listening to lectures, to presenters. Now in the village there, I'm a pastor, I'm a village pastor. So I like to already from the onset, I promise you nothing like a lecture here, because I'm not very familiar with notes, taking notes, but I'll give a few reflections. Dear friends, I want to thank Father for the great work that he's doing. Father Patrick, you are putting a new face in our communications department. A clap of hands for Father and his team. There's a lot that is going on, and I'm very appreciative having been one of the founders of our media products in Hoima Diocese, as we have already reflected. I've been in Radio Maria and the communications office for many years. And I came at a time when the office was almost closed in Hoima Diocese. After this, Petero, he lost his dear wife recently, Helena Kakwa and Tiara Wakakwa. You are aware. But the old man is still there. I think he's over 95. He must be over about 96 or 97. He's in Kampala. So when I came in, after those very lively moments of the news too, and there was so much. So I came to the Department of Communications, and the bishop says you are in charge. So I think he made an effort to send me for some courses. I went to Italy for a short course, then another longer course, took studies in media, radio, came back. We struggled with Radio Maria, started. And it was not easy. But I'm very appreciative that my two successive directors, Father Gerald Agumikiriza and then the great Father Patrick Museveni, I think the thing is moving. Yes. The thing is moving. Why don't you clap hands? Yes. The thing is going on, and I'm very happy to be here to give my few reflections about this very interesting Media Summit Conference with that theme that we have been given. You know, Father has done a lot of work for us, and things are much easier for us to do what we are doing because everything is almost here. So the theme is media and evangelization. Media and evangelization and integrated government. So, as I said, I want to be very, very brief, but give a few highlights on what Father asked me to do. He has already given us the history of the World Communications Day. And I think in our expectations, somebody said, this World Communications Day, this Communications Week, what is it about? I think many of our expectations, a good number of them already have been answered. A good number of them, and that we have already understood that this World Communications Day is a church event. It is a church event that has a long history and a tradition. As way back as 1967 by Pope Paul VI. This is now said, by the way. This is said Pope Paul VI. And it's an annual celebration on Ascension Sunday. It's Ascension Sunday. That is a Sunday before Pentecost. And for me, I'll request you to allow me quote something from the Bible. No, there's no way can they proceed without you saying something from the Bible, because this day has a theological foundation. World Communications Day, which is preceded by the Communications Week, which was announced and promulgated by Pope Paul VI, 1967, has a very strong theological, divine foundation that you cannot escape. Not that one stand it up to read. If somebody has the Bible, I have one here. If there's a good reader, you can come and read us from Matthew 28, 16 to 20. Matthew 28, 16 to 20, it's right here. You can just come and read. Let us all listen these few words, then I will briefly summarize my talk.
The Gospel according to Matthew 28,
16 to 28,
verse 16 to 20. Meanwhile, the 11 disciples set out for Galilee, to the mountain where Jesus had arranged to meet them. When they saw him, they fell down before him, though some hesitated. Jesus came up and spoke to them. He said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go, therefore, make disciples of all nations, baptize them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teach them to observe all the commands I give you. And look, I am with you always, yes, to the end of time."
The word of God.
God.
Okay, some can say praise to Jesus Christ. Dear friends, this is the heart, this is the origin, this is the foundation of World Communications Day. And the key word here, the key statement of Jesus before he rose, no, Jesus was going to heaven, was about to rise, the ascension. And before he left, he wanted to leave a few words to the disciples. And he said, "All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me." All authority, you see, he's already creating the ground for his words. You get the point? Go, therefore, make disciples of all nations. Go, make disciples of all nations. Baptize them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, and teach them to observe all the commands I have given you. Dear friends, these are not simple words of Jesus. They are not suggestions. They are not proposals. In fact, it's called the Great Commission. It's a testament, it's a will. Jesus was giving a will. He was giving something concrete to his disciples, to his apostles. Go. It's a command. It's a duty, urgent and very demanding, left by our Lord Jesus to Mother Church. So sometimes I ask myself a very interesting question. Maybe each one of us can reflect about it. If Jesus lived his earthly life in our times today, if Jesus was alive today, that Son of God, we know Jesus, all of us. If Jesus lived his earthly life in our times, how do he carry out his mission? what media would he apply? How would he reach out to the whole world in the most efficient way? It's a question that I pose to myself. And dear journalists, dear media practitioners, I think it is the reason our church fathers of Vatican Council II in the 60s came up with the decree on media and communication entitled Inter Mirifica, among the wonderful. And that definitely starts with those very words. Those are the very starting words of that document. Among the wonderful, intended, it has 24 chapters, intended to present the church's position on the media of social communications, so that the church may know what to do. And in this summit, we have been invited, and Father told me that in my presentation, I should make an effort to talk about this document, Inter Mirifica. Inter Mirifica. I want to assure you that I will not talk about the 24th article. There is no way I can. I have read the whole of it, but that will give me a very good opportunity to read this document and really appreciate it. I really took time, I read, but I want to summarize this document with just a few words. By the way, Father, it's very challenging because today, as Father has explained, World Communications, they also receive another document every year. The Holy Father sends a message. Papa tuwekobutumwa buli mwaka bwembakanizo. The Holy Father sends a specific message for that year, intended to fire into flame this mission of going into the world and communicating and spreading the good news. And so we have this other document which the Holy Father sent us this year. It was written way back in January, in the day of St. Francis. But it was read on the 21st of May. That is the very day for when we had the World Communications Day. And it is entitled Speaking with the Heart, the Truth in Love. Father, no. You know, the expectations here were so many. Somebody said, he regretted why we are using English here. He was saying, so when I go blue channel, red channel, I don't know which is which, you allow me. Father has been very, very, very supportive, as you have been very, very generous with us. Father translated this document into the Renewal language, and by the way, when I read that document of the Holy Father for this year, it was like I was in a retreat in Rutulero, and when Father said a retreat for the communicators of Rutulero, I didn't want to think that we are beginning with Mass. Well, there's no Mass. We had our Mass in the morning, and we had a Muhamba with us in the Mass. I don't know, was he not invited? He was invited. But he was with us at Mass, and I was very happy. But he had a retreat to look at a few things, to reflect on our work, to think about what we do, and what is God saying on what we do. So for me, we have two things here, and I want to really apologize that I'm in a dilemma, which one to talk about much, the Inter Mirifica or the speaking with the heart. There are two things, but I want to hear about a month ago, I took my mother, my old mother is still alive, to Kampala. He had some challenge with the stomach. And I went to this doctor, this famous doctor, Dr. Sally David, the herbal doctor. You know him? Near Taxpark. You know him, right? Yeah. That Dr. Sally David, he said something that struck me. He said, if you want to hide knowledge from an African, put it in a what? Put it in a book. Not even in red, but put it in a what? In a book. Then you have finished the African. If you want to hide the knowledge from an African, put it in the culture of reading. I don't know how many of us read. For you journalists, I'm sure you are experts. you read so much and you are updated, and that's why I'm very careful with what I'm saying here, because I know you have a lot of knowledge, you are an expert, you have the communication skills, and as here you have said, I'm not here to give you a lecture on communication skills. You have them, you know them, you are practicing, you are field men, but how much do we read? How much do we look at what is written? And I thought my recommendation should be the handout issue. You know, Madam said the handout, and Father said our heads are our first handouts. But I wanted to recommend that Father, this especially the one of Pope Francis, speaking with the heart. If you can have a confidence somebody they can pay, it's 200. Yeah, 200. So that we can photocopy that thing, each one can go home with something very concrete. I want to, believe me not, the document of the Holy Father, speaking with the heart, should be taken like a handbook for each one of us in our work. As you will see, I will give a summary of that one. Inter Magnifica, among the wonderful, very simple, for they have only cited out about 3 points. It has an introduction, it is 24 articles. Because Father said he wants me to present this, present the position of the church about communication. This Inter Magnifica has an introduction, and its introduction talks about 2 points, the introduction. And the first point talks about the church's affirmation of the high level of influence media has on people's life and lifestyle. The high level of influence media has on people's lives and lifestyle. Those who have studied communication technically, it's called the agenda setting. You have heard about that word? The agenda setting. Do you know that media sets the agenda? What to think about, what to discuss. Media can kill a very important thing that you think is very important. It can kill it and bring out an aspect, a topic that you didn't even imagine. Media can hide what you thought should be uncovered. The agenda setting. Media conditions. It conditions our lives. When I was in Italy this year, in the month of June, there was a lot of chaos with the water flooding and killing people, and then also fire breaking and destroying families. Now, the weather forecast is so important for the Europeans. Many times there are some good percentage accurate. They are accurate as much as. No, when they say there will be rain today, people come out with umbrellas. Rain has not yet started, but because the media said there will be, people will carry them. It may not rain. I mean, sometimes it doesn't. Although they try to be as accurate as they can. But already somebody is waiting for the weather forecast. It becomes a very important program for somebody to know how to manage his day. So at such a time, it will be cloudy, it will be rainy, it will be sunny. When they say it is sunny, people flock to the beach. Not so. You see, the first way normally go, it's near the beach. You see a traffic jam of vehicles going to the beach because media. Because the TV, and they even announce, sometimes when something happens, they say, we need to talk about something. Somebody has died. They will say, which radio has announced that? From which TV has it been announced? Because there are some media that is not very credible. They say, I think it's that one. Let's wait and hear from the other one also. You get the point? But they are not very sure whether that one, what it has announced is really accurate. You get the point? Media agenda setting. Before Omuhamba does the news review, people are waiting what Omuhamba will say because they think Omuhamba more or less has it. Maybe they wait for Radio Maria, the news, I think, the one who does the, is it John Bosco, they wait for John Bosco to clarify on issues. They may have heard all the other, but then they wait for the other one We shall talk about the media ethics also. Get the point? So, who sets the ball rolling? You know, Madam Asinati was talking about the fourth estate. You know, we have the three powers of governance, no? The three estates. You know, we have the legislature, you know, the legislature, those who make our laws. It's a very important power in government. We have the executive, those who put into action, and we have the judiciary. These are the three powers of government, the three estates. But media has been given the fourth estate, the fourth power. It has the power after the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The fourth power is media. Media has power. That's why you see now these days all these legislatures, in one way or another, want to have a media facility, a media institution, maybe radio or a TV, because there he knows with that media facility, he has power over people, not so. He can influence, he has the mouth, he can get a following. You know, Honorable Asnas was thanking you for promoting him. I mean, promoting not promoting her, but maybe the good ideas that she has, her proposals, and maybe that's why she also came out, because she has something to offer. So, dear friends, this is the first part. This is the first affirmation the church is putting across, that media has a high level of influence on people's lives and lifestyles. Now, the church also affirms that the media, this is another affirmation from Inter-Mirifica document, that document on social media and evangelization. The church also affirms that if properly utilized, these media, when I talk these media, I mean, I think TV, television, what else? What? The phones, internet. You can mention, because now this is not a class here. What? Magazines, the press. These media, if properly utilized, can be of great service to humankind. If properly utilized. So that means the contrary is true. And that contrary is, if not properly utilized, can be, and have proved to be of great service to humankind. So here the crucial question is, what is the problem? Is it the machines? Is it the microphone? They don't function well? Is it the way they have been put up? That there is a problem, they are tilted, these machines? Is it the way the print is done? Is it the microphone that has a problem? The microphone? That's the service. Where does it come from? Is it the studios that they are very old, the machines are very old? That could be with regard to the efficiency. That's about the efficiency. Also, the efficiency is important. With the efficiency goes with the machines. With the machine, that the machine is not efficient. The voice is not coming out well. There is on and off. That you can understand. That somebody hears one word and the other word is not heard. That's about efficiency. But in most cases, where is the problem? It is the person behind the microphone. It is the person behind the microphone. So here, the church, therefore, is aware of the seriousness of the matter. The good as well as the bad, the chaos, the disservice media usage can bring along, and wishes to set clear regulations and principles to guide media usage. So, in this introductory part of the Inter-Mirifica, that document, the church is clear about two things. that media has influence, it has power, it sets the agenda, it controls, and the people are involved, are quick to institute media of all kinds so that they can use this power to influence. Then second, if well used, these media can be of great service to humankind. And if not properly used, they can be a disservice. So this Inter Mirifica, in its first chapter, which is 10 articles, and I'm choosing only three main items, has the following to say. It clearly highlights three main concerns as the teaching of the Church on media. One, that media, as church, media is not only good and useful, but a must. Media is not only good and useful, but a must for effective evangelization. We can't go around it. We can't go around it. You know, I was saying, if Jesus was here in our time, if Jesus was born today, in our time with this technology, how would he engage himself? How would he engage his days? How would he communicate to us? So the church is affirming, you know, because there have been people who look at media, radio, TV, and they say it is bad, it is satanic, even to Bibi Musitani. No, these things they are innocent instruments. This is technology. You can't go around it. You can't say technology is bad. Are we together? You cannot delegate media. You have to face it. So, media is a must for effective evangelization in the modern world. If we are to fulfill the great commissioning of the Master on his ascension, go and make disciples of all nations, teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. So that's the first affirmation in this Inter Mirifica document, which I think you'll be able to have copies. I have the whole document here. I asked Father to give us a copy of the document, and I think we have it. It's very interesting. It is very, very beautiful emblem of the Holy Father. The big one. Was this said on TV that we shall have the little rains? Yes. I didn't see the news this morning. I should watch out. So, the second point in the Inter Mirifica, that among the wonderful, the Vatican Council goes on to recommend that, now I quote also, for the proper use of these media. You remember I said, what is the problem? You remember that interrogation? For the proper use of these media, it is most necessary. He said most. You know, the church is very careful with the language it uses. It is most necessary that all who employ them, all who use media, be acquainted with the norms of morality. Are we together? Yes. With the norms of morality. And conscientiously, knowingly, with full awareness, put them into practice. So, dear friends, communicators, this is one of the challenges: the formation of the communicator, the formation of the journalist. And I think this is where our university, because is gaining in its courses, because there is a course on ethics that it has put across, and the products of Mkozi University they are what ethics of communication. Ubuntu. You know, my mother taught me something. We were discussing a lot of things about how things have changed, how people are behaving, how you get the point. Everybody is doing this. So my mother said, I remember, she's still alive, 89 years. Ubuntu, Omumuntu, no Mungu. Can somebody repeat it quickly here? Then I'll give you a small gift. See, that is it. That's how complicated it is. That's how serious it is. When somebody says Ubuntu, that person has no Ubuntu, he has killed you. He has killed you. It is that Ubuntu in you that qualifies you to be Ubuntu. The way you talk, the way you do your things, the way you communicate. Because the Holy Father says something here, by the way, we just rush ahead. Before he said something. What we are, what we communicate. We are what we communicate. You get that? The ethics. How many times have we seen? Many times have we been struck by the prompt and many times careless and reckless publication of affairs and events, even without prayer and the proper digestion of the issues. Because we want to be the first to announce. You get the point? How do they call that, being the first in breaking news? We want to break the news. We want to break the news to be known as being the first. We promptly, and I said many times, carelessly, sometimes not always, carelessly and recklessly, publish affairs and events without prayer and the proper digestion of the issues. Can we reflect on the manner in which sometimes news and information is communicated without any regard to the dignity of the person? Without any regard, and the person is totally destroyed. Because I want to tell you the truth. I know the truth will be told. We shall talk about it. You know, the Holy Father says, speaking with the heart, the truth in love. These are very, very strong statements the Holy Father is making. But already foreseen by our church fathers way back in 1967, Pope Paul VI. The manner in which sometimes news and information is communicated without any regard, any attention to the dignity of the human person, and the person is really destroyed. No, we just saw like Nekolera Mar, Yawogera kwenye mkola senti. Mkola senti. Abakole bakoleki, nyumba lizenja senta, kanu kakunkolera. You get the point? So what do I want to say? What is the church saying? The church is basically saying, giving of information is right. It's right. I want to give information. People have a right to know. It's a good thing. But it may not be just in the way you present it. You know, for me, I'm a priest, and sometimes I make reference to the words I say. You know, in the preface, you know that prayer before the consecration. I think you are familiar with these words. Before we raise our hands over the bread and wine at Mass, there are certain words we say, okay? So after that consecration, now we have the preface. So, no, before that consecration, we have the preface. And it says, the preface says these words. Kisemerire kandi kyobinganiza kihikire kandi it is right and just, our duty and salvation. You know, certain things are good. Giving of information is what? Is right, is correct, but it may not be just. Sawa kimkisemerire kyonka kitali kyaki kitali kyokuinganiza hatali mu kuinganiza mukako kyo kintu kirunge na kuina kuhamba kule kirungi baitu mulingo gahelizemu nomulingo omuntu omuyisire omulingo ekyomukozereho kiri kyaki gihikire kandi nikijuna kisaka kihikire kyokukora baitu kitakoraki kitakujuna mukago. You get the point? You said this pastor now is here. He's on us. But this is the much far that we can go. And that's why the Holy Father talks about speaking with and from the heart, the truth in love. That love is their love. You know, sometimes you go to the studio and you are really bitter with somebody and you say, he will see. He will see. Kyankozere kyararora. Nogendo rundi maybe areki bayireho mutabukire ugamba hati inagenda bamubaza akantu ngundu ati notandikira hali ako kutabura obulemu kutaza kusisa to destroy. You can totally destroy a person and you may never know how much impact that has on the person, on the family, on the friends. You may never know how much world of hatred you are creating around that person. You get the point? We are here for the retreat to renew. That's why I said the technical things were much better than me, you know, these things. But we are talking about the heart of communication. So, the timing, the context in which you deliver that information. So the church fathers are very clear on this and they state in Article 5 that knowledge, not all knowledge is useful. It is charity that edifies. You get the point? Not all knowledge is useful. It is charity that edifies. Knowledge is there, knowledge is knowledge. But you may not have to communicate all the knowledge that you have. We have a lot of things in our heads, but you are not demanded to say everything you have in your head. Is it a demand that you have to say? You can select and say this one will die later. You do what? I will not say it now. The timing to know when and how to say it. So this is basically the mind of the church fathers, and we are here to think about media and evangelization. Does your communication help to evangelize? Does it help to build or to destroy? Does it help to unite or disunite? Intermerifica does not stop on talking about the media producers, but it also talks about the media consumers. Actually, by the way, we communicators, we are both. We are media producers, but also media consumers. We are also media consumers. So the church fathers also caution and reminds consumers of media products to be cautious of what they feed on so as not to harm themselves. Especially this goes with in our families. We all have TVs, and we know what goes on the TV. We know what media products give, and we have children. Kind of by the way, when we how to get into these media products. By the time you realize, even the password. These kids may go around the password, and by the time you realize, they've already opened your phone. They are so smart. How much do we engage ourselves to protect our children against media that is harmful? Are we together? It's a caution, it's a reminder. I quote, that they should favor those presentations that are outstanding for their moral goodness, their knowledge, and their artistic or technical merit, and should avoid those that may be a cause or occasion of spiritual harm to themselves or that can lead others into danger, especially the young. So here it's also the inter mirifica, that among the wonderful, is also cautioning we as consumers also, because I don't want to imagine that you are also only there to give, but also you receive. And when you are receiving, you are not receiving alone. You are receiving maybe with your family, you are receiving with your children, with your wife, and some of these products are very, very dangerous. So the church is also cautioning us as media users to be watchful so that these media do not destroy us, because some of the media is destructive. Believe me not, and we know that. That's why you say this is above 18, no? So this is for people above 18. Ibe tibiribye batoze boti barobona boti bakuyetaga nabakuyetaga nabakulinguzayo yabakiri nyo ngakitutarolayo haliyo mulo bagonza kulora. So Father, I want to conclude with the Intermirifica. The other few articles remaining talk about the pastoral activity of the church. One, they say every pastoral activity of the church should have a communication component. So these are recommendations. The church concludes with strong recommendations for all pastoral agents, clergy, religious, and the laity. They say all the children of the church should join without delay and with the greatest effort in a common work to make effective use of the media of social communications in various apostolic endeavors as circumstances and conditions demand. So this goes now on our side. Ito sacerdote, ecclesia, kura uneto milimo yaitu. Mnabandi mbaliza bafumbo. Mkuntu, mkwegesa bafumbo. How do I use the best tools to reach all the bafumbo? How do I use the best means of communication to reach out? Because also media, it's an art. You have to use art. It's a skill. How do I engage all the possible skills to reach out to the greatest audience, to the greatest participation? You know, in the media, we have the primary audience and the secondary, not so. Not that everything, people go on radio for a certain program. Some people go on radio for the Rosary, Radio Maria. When Rosary is supporting her, the programs is it have to have one day. Or then a clean use program, practically Radio Maria had the Champa, use programs. Ordinary Linda at Huralinka. What is that word? Came up. My daughter here. So people are very, very selective. Now, every Catholic program, every Catholic apostolate should be reflected in media in some way. Because media, the Office of Communication is supposed to give a communication component to all pastoral activities. So, Father Museveni, tunakumwekoleza kekelezia kani tuwekoleza inwe, because many of you have Catholics here, not so I know we have also different religions here, but we have the duty as Catholics to engage media as much as we can in order to reach the greatest audience with the word of God. Then the fathers also, the church is called upon to take measures and put in place the Catholic media for evangelization. I'm happy this year, Father is already fundraising for the print. Not so. The print, the machinery. We want to conclude to finish our. But also, I have my envelope. It will not be like the other one. I have my envelope because we are duty bound to support. To support a truly Catholic press, meant to form, to support, and advance public opinion in accordance with the natural law and Catholic teaching and precepts. So, now the media is now the big pulpit, not so. the media, and I know how many people like these very attractive preachers. Yeah? Somebody who can really communicate the word. And you say, you know, some people have left the Catholic Church because they think there is no life. It is flat. People want, as the Holy Father is going to tell us, they want to hear words that give them life, that uplift their souls, that unite. So we have the duty to support this media, to avail technical and doctrinal training to the church media practitioners, to call for organizations and individuals to support the media, church media, freely and even generously. To promote Communications Day participation and celebration. Father, congratulations. We are doing it. Let's clap hands for him. I know these things are not simple. Organizing things like this, Father, is not simple. I did make an effort during my time, but I don't think I was very successful all the years to do this. So, Father, you have the very big credit. Thank you. Thank you so much. It takes an effort. People see success here, but behind the other thing. But behind, sleepless nights. Sleepless nights. Sleepless nights. Encourage and promote media education. You know, media education is another very important thing. What does it mean? To know how media works. Some people are not taught on how media works. So one time somebody, bagenda baterekisani patience. No terekisani kya patience tajwaira ati. Kuja kuturuka patience ali mu team. Wobugol. Olina kuterekisani kwa kuoli oti kuja kuturuka mu kisani oyino mukazi muli munanka mu mikoro yo bugol. Mr. Muhumuza. Mr. Muhumuza. Yes, Mr. Muhumuza. I know many of you, even by name. How media works? You may think it is true and it is not. Media can doctor. Somebody can put something that is fake. So people have to be in media education to know how media works so that they may not take things for granted. Now, let me end. As I said, my task is to give something very brief also about the letter of the Holy Father. Let me use like 5 minutes only. The Holy Father, Pope Francis, sent us a letter entitled Speaking with the Heart, the Truth in Love. Kubaza n'omutima amazima omungonzi. Get the point? Kubaza naki n'omutima nobaza amazima omuki. Dear friends, these words are very, 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 very strong. The Holy Father, in his message, seems to provide real medicine for the needed healing and reconciliation, our communication as media practitioners should take and provide to our listeners. So the Holy Father is looking at 3 key words here. 3 key words. The heart, the truth, and love. Love. 3 key words. And I'm about to end here. 3 key words. The heart, the truth, and so why does the Holy Father, Pope Francis, emphasize the heart symbolism? The heart. Abakina abaza hamutima. The Holy Father provides 8 very wonderful and inspiring reasons as food for thought to us all in this media fraternity. He says first, the heart is the symbol of love, the fount of all virtues, and all that is good starts from the heart. Omutima, you cannot confuse the heart with anything different from what it is. Wakama ina omutima mubi, Kwanza taina mutima. Tino. Omutima akakama kahango mutima kuli gulungi, the heart, the symbol of love. So the Holy Father says, listening with a pure heart, mutima. That is to say, without prejudice and with patience, leads to authentic dialogue. Mukabulira? The first thing. It is only when you have listened to the other with a pure heart. That purity means without prejudice and without patience. Only then can we enter into the dynamic of authentic dialogue and sharing. Authentic dialogue and sharing. Bantu bamukaba nobaza n'omuntu nakubaliza omuntu baitu olere n'ogamba mbyetegerezei ekyobaza nkikengere takamazireyo, which means olina abaza bino byokozereki ate olina okoza n'omugamba mbyetegereze lekerawo lundi n'abaza n'amanya nalwa tokubuura nalwa kimungu you are not attentive. Ekikumanyisa there is no communication. You are listening to the other without a pure heart. Your heart is already full of certain things, maybe prejudices. When you mumanyireho, when you come on akudupa, ngoze na abza koraki, akundu. No musaraho. No nyonka munobaira. Because either there is a prejudice or there is you have no patience. So there is no authentic dialogue and sharing. It's only listening with a pure heart that the dynamic of cordial communication comes in place. Cordial communication, cordial greetings. That the dynamic of speaking according to the truth in love takes place. So, nikako kubanza ko akapapa agambire, listening with a pure heart, without prejudice and with patience that leads to authentic dialogue. Akakasaka. Speaking with and from the heart leads to the miracle of genuine encounter. Genuine encounter. It is through speaking with and from the heart that the miracle of genuine encounter can take place, which makes us look at one another with compassion, welcoming each other's fragility with respect. Those are very, very important words. They are the key words. Instead of judging by hearsay, that's sowing seeds of discord and division. The miracle of genuine encounter. You know, many times our encounters are not genuine. No, panga akuwa kandi ndagamba ki. Olino omuntu kyonka timukubulirizanga, there is no heart to heart. The Pope's appeal to speak from the heart radically challenges our time, so prone to indifference, indignation, hate, violence, revenge. Ngira kanu nkabaliza wewe. Twine bintu bingi nabagenzi baitu. Ati kubanza from the heart ubone kikora ki kitulema ubaza nojenjeka ko kyakukozere mugutunga. Na ati kiki akumwene ruhoya, you have been wounded. We have been wounded. And when you go on air, when you have been wounded, you know how much harm you will do. When you are wounds, you allow your wounds to influence your work. You know how much harm you can do to society. You get the point? The Holy Father says, speaking from and with the heart, we need it in the media. We need it in the media. So that communication does not foster a hatred that exasperates, that irritates, that annoys, that generates anger and leads to confrontation, but rather helps people to reflect calmly, to decipher, that is to succeed in finding out the meaning of something that is difficult to read, with a critical and always respectful spirit. Communication, Papa Gambile, communication should never be reduced to a marketing strategy. Get the point? Communication should never be reduced to a marketing strategy. Yanekolera kyange mubuto, nekolera mali. Kozesa amahule for the sake of marketing. At marketing, not marketing. You know that in marketing sometimes there is deception. You know that? There is deception also in marketing. You want to market something, you have to find a way of dressing that thing in such a way that it can sell. Not so. Olina kuguza ekintu ekitali mu magezi, bali omulinga akibalirize, omulinga akizinirire, n'ogamba nikyo. N'okula n'otwala, omaze kuliko omukazi ogamba ngulize majani. So Papa Gambile, communication should never be reduced to a marketing strategy. Remember, we are what we communicate. The Pope remarks. So I would like to end. Allow me to conclude with these beautiful words taken from the Pope's message. Papa Maliliza Levita Kupino, Young Maliza Levita Nikahari. Papa Gambile. The Holy Father has said in this document that I want you to take as food for thought. We urgently need in the church, and I would say also in the world, a communication that, one, ignites hearts. That ignites hearts. A communication that ignites hearts, that burns wounds. That sheds light on the journey of brothers and sisters. That's the communication that we need. We urgently need a communication that focuses on the relationship with God and with one's neighbor. Akutekaho obulengo mukubaza kwe omahurege akukonyera abantu kwene enkolagane nukina ruhanga hamu na bagenzi babo, especially the most needed and that knows how to light the fire of faith rather than preserving the ashes of a self-referential identity. Ona muntu akubaza ke wongatali abantu ali akwebaza ukuntu ali habye ali hakwetumbya takuhumuza. A communication is not bringing that gentility, that coolness. A communication whose foundations are humility in listening and pararesia, gentility, diligence in speaking, which never separates truth from charity. Papa Gambile, thank you so much for listening to me. I'm sorry if I've been too long, but I've been too forceful or strong, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
I thank you for the good presentation. I hope everybody of us has enjoyed this presentation. It has been crystal clear. I've picked a number of things. I'm privileged to have you as my teacher today. It's certain things that I didn't know about, most especially when you tackled about the inter-Utica. I've gotten lots. I hope you've had the same. And let me hope he has not bored. So, thank you so much, brother. And I, for one, have learned how to communicate with the heart. With love. Sincerely speaking, you've taken us deep. The next on our agenda, for the interest of time, we have discussion and way forward. Father Patrick. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much, moderator. Maybe there are some of you who would like to stretch a bit. We take 5 minutes break and those who want to use the loose, and then you come back. Through the moderator.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Bonnet. So far, how is the meeting? How's the workshop going? You are live on YouTube.
Well, so far the workshop is good. We are learning some things. I've got some knowledge about communication.
Okay.
And looking forward to getting other skills in communication. Thank you, the Catholic community. Thank you, Radio Maria, for inviting us. We are humbled. I'm Kubonza Vincent. I work with Cousin Gemma Online Radio as a presenter.
Thank you. To the live on YouTube. So far, in can you sufana mbe tukayikire kintu mukayikomu kikuru batya twina muziyo yes, he's live on YouTube. So far, how's the meeting? The media summit so far is going very well, and it is interesting. We are enjoying it. Discussions forward. Okay. Yes. You have not told us one name. I'm Kuseme Emmanuel, and he's a reporter from Kabaale. Yes, Kabaale. Yes, Mr. Bernard, communications group today. I'm grateful for working with Radio Maria Uganda as a news reporter. Okay. And I'm glad to meet my colleagues from different places, and I would like even to encourage more media practitioners to also join us, and also the entire community to join this department of communication. As communicators, we are always know that we are the voice of the voiceless. We raise people's concerns to the high level so that the authorities and the government can work upon this matter like this. Thank you. Which word are you telling those people who are outside, who are who are not here, who are not managed to come. The only thing is like this, for us we are there for them. We are going to raise these concerns to the general public so that they can, these matters can be solved.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
To meet you, Mr. Kobi.
We have William Kurusi.
One minute remaining. Almost it is done.
Immaculate.
Yes, madam.
I'm a volunteer of Radio Maria. First of all, I want to thank this afternoon we've had Reverend Father John Mary Rusobozi, who has taken us through the training as our trainer who took us through this. Tubanza kumusema habwa ntekereza yayi kandi nokubatamnaito nokutegesa atwegesa bintu bingi muno atwegesesa kubazana umutima n'amazima n'engonzi so habitsonge tubanza kumusema kitukongera muno haita abareba ayizetekazeni ya media summit tumeona abataba kuhindura abali mu bantu bengi kuba different religions, so it has helped us. So for that case, we are inviting him for lunch after this.
Watasubiri kuja kesho yale kama mtaka kusaka kumkanda
Ngambiro rente ntengo umunyinga sayaye umunyinga bagusozi yatukisa kumutima n'ingozi n'amazima ebyo byonka bikumana kakuba oyina amazima oyina engozi nina n'umutima ogwenda umutima omulungi okongera muno omuntu alahiyo.
Tugenda station manager wa Radio Maria Mr. Leonard Kalisa sofa meeting ngenu nambe twikaka kama iwe probati toina kizibu bintu bina bikumata kwa
tukagamukira rukwaita somere kurungi
ego
kandi bintu byona bakusomere kurungi tugaruka mu kyaro kuteka mu kozi
akachayi kana ku breakfast otungire
byona tungire kusoma tusomere itafika getegereze kandi bategereza no kufera kuri banyamakuru jonga baterera kugakora ibintu bya sente ndamara kubaza kandi ibintu mwanyira
hapo
mabale kuteka TV kandi nabarozi nywenda tuli hano
abo bugambo bwabo ko bukizoka atoli satisfied ndikimu kiona na ngiri hona traktora iki kali
Well, we've learned a lot.
this is a time of reflection, especially some of us who are journalists said what we are learning here today is really to take us back to what we are supposed to do, or maybe back to what we important. And you see, journalism is sometimes a hard thing because when you come from the field, people don't know what you produce, and much as you might be made somewhere, but everyone might do something different. So sometimes we might go over the line and maybe do what we're supposed to do, but to really practice our journalism with love, with the heart, and with the passion. Yeah. From which media? God from Humza Video.
Thank you. Alika tugende omuso meeting ya leo. Call us back from the break.
I would like to know so far the meeting started working now.
The meeting is so far good. We have had speeches from the Right Honorable the woman MP is Asnas. She left shortly. From the speaker, his former director of social communications and former director of media, that is for the German Resources. He took us through the Internet Africa message, and Bob gave us the theme for this year's celebrations as in social communication. To celebrate the Social Communications Day. Our theme is speaking with the heart, with truth and love. So please, Reverend Father, as far as January, he took us through. And right now, as we are going for discussions and way forward. And that is going to be done by Father Patrick Seven. We are out from the break. And in a few, we shall be having that discussion from Reverend Father Patrick Seven, the current director, executive director, social communications department, and director of Regional. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back from the break. And as we have told you before, that the next item is discussion and way forward. And this is going to be done by our current director, that is Reverend Father Patrick Museveni. I thought you're most welcome.
Thank you very much, Patience Quantum, for this opportunity you have given me once again. Dear participants, I welcome you back from the short break, and then I am here to handle the plenary. Basically here, you are going to give us your feedback about what you have heard. And as you give us your feedback, then we shall chart a way forward, isn't it? First of all, you give us your feedback. What have you learned, isn't it? After giving us what you have learned, in that time that I'm going to give you, you pose to ask a challenge. And after you pose to ask a challenge, then you will have to look for a way forward. How best can we do this? The person speaks in all the three domains, or we take one at a time. One at a time. So that is what we have reviewed. That we take a person's reaction one at a time, and in that order. What have we learned? what are the new insights that you have, or even what you have not learned from here, but there are better insights that you can share with us. After that, we shall come to the level of challenges. Then after the challenges, we shall start away. Okay. For me, what I have tried to take from today's discussion was that it is intermerifical. There are many social challenges that were taking place at the moment in the world, and the church sought to declare its position on the media of social communication by giving us a what? A document, because Father started by showing us the social issues of that time. And the major question was, if Jesus was here today, what would he do to put across his message? Which media would he choose? And then the church sets to give us the guidelines through the intermerifical. Among the wonderful. So, in the first place, as media, we have influence, isn't it? In other words, we have power. We are the fourth arm of the government, not so? Because media sets agenda. But this is more or less like it is not constitutional, but we think we have enough influence even to talk of government. That is one. Now, the next is that since media gives us power, if properly used, can set a good agenda. And if properly misused, we can also use that word. If properly misused, we can do what? We can distract. Not so? Media for destruction, media for development, integral development and evangelization. So media is not only good and useful, but a must. These are precedents that I am setting. It's not only useful, but a must. There is no way you can go around about it. For effective evangelization and integral development, it is an alternative pulpit that the church must use. We would feel guilty before the Lord if the church does not utilize these powerful means that human skills is daily rendering more effective to proclaim from housetops the message for which he is the depository. Not so? Where shall we take that guilt? We must say it is a must and necessary. Then, for power, for proper use of the media, it is most necessary that all those who employ these media are what? Equipped with moral norms so that they use it properly. Not so? Good. And not all knowledge is useful, it is charity that edifies. This is taken from Article 5 of the intermerifical. It is important to learn how media works so as not to remain aloof, isn't it? Like they take a picture as our father was giving, and then when it is going around, everybody will say it is gospel truth when it is Photoshop. So we should not be naive how media works. Then he concluded by showing us the summary of this theme. It was Nomutima Amazima Omungozi. Rundi, speaking the truth with the heart, the truth in love. Yesterday I just gave the children a simple example. Somebody can be sick, terminally ill, you tell them, the person will not say, after all, they are tired of me. I think I'd rather die. And they yield. And what keeps the person alive is hope. Does your word give hope? What you write, Edward, does it reflect the heart? Even if a person is reading your story, does he see a good heart? The writer with a good heart, speaking the truth in love. There is one thing, when I was translating this message, which I quoted from Pope's message, he said the following: Tuteralikira kubaza amazima nomubwire na mbere garukuletera abandi kutwekengera rundi kutweralikira baitu tweralikire kubaza amazima tayina mutima.
tuteerayiikirira kubaza amazima n'omubwire na mbere garatuleetera abandi kutwekengera n'okutweraliikirira baitu tweraliikirire muno kubaza amazima tutaine mutima. These are complex words like fathers omuntu ataine muntu tali muntu. These are complex words which you can be interpreting from your own. But the whole thing is speaking the truth in love. A tree is known by its fruits. Emsanga hamutima akano ndio kakora ki kawoga oine mutima ki orabo ino mutima gwawo guti omuntu omubi ayaka ansawo ye yo mubi nagabira ki abandi kandi omuntu omulungi aya mutima gwo mulungi omulyaworere rongi niho nagabira ki abandi iwe ine mutima ki. That is Luke chapter 6 verse 44 to 45. Olulimi luworobere baitu rusobora kwata igufa. Kino kiri mu mfumo omutwe gwa 25 Luka 15. The tongue is very soft, but it can break bones. You know that? Proverbs chapter 25, verses 15. Olulimi olulungi luteeraniza emitima. Omutima gubaza n'omutima. Francis Salesio akagamba, oyina okugonza osobola kubaza abakulu b'amatu. The heart speaks to the heart. If you have love, even you can speak to the deaf. This is according to St. Francis de Sales, who is our patron saint, on whose date, the 24th of January, this message was promulgated in the Lateran Basilica. Our concept, these are the insights for me which I have picked. What have you picked? Can you read this, Mumza?
The principal moral responsibility for proper use of media falls on those involved in the production and transmission of media products.
Sometimes we write stories and we donate them to people. I've donated it to you as a starting point. So what have you learned, Mumza?
The principal moral responsibility for proper use of media falls on those involved in the production and transmission of media products.
Is that clear, Martin? Good. Now, that means many of us are just story seekers. Kusaka, these are reflective stories. You sit and look at something that is affecting the people. Morally, how can you change it? And then you see a better perspective with the heart, how to report it in fairness and truth. That is principal moral responsibility. But rushing to Akagwaho, that means the world is setting agenda for media, and media is not setting agenda. You write reflective stories. The principal moral responsibility for media products falls on media producers. Which content do you produce? Is that good? Why is there no attention? Meya akugamba ati abantu kati bagamba ku luguudo lukiwekere mukazi yatundaga kabaragara nomwalo wamwenge kakakyatunda abokuba mukyeke n'abantu tebakyakola manda tebakyakulaba. You are setting agenda. Batu akisaya hali okugaba esagama kusanga bodobona balawo na kamera no recorder agambira tugamba esagama bali abikiriki. This person is going to speak what is on face value. He will leave what is behind. What do you do in order to push him to work? How can you be an arm that does not work? So if we are a fourth estate, fourth arm, we should work. That is the meaning. But with morals. Now, by show of hands, we continue with our discussion. What have you learned? Lessons. It is a first come, first serve basis. Once you raise up your hand first, I pick you. From all these discussions, what do you see is pertinent and you think is worth sharing with us? Yes, Naliwawe, then followed by you.
Thank you so much, Father Anuki, and all other speakers, Father Jeremy, and all members. What I've picked from whatever we've learned, first of all, I'm both at Honorable Batanans Naliwawe. I'm the speaker, member of the council, deputy speaker actually, and here I'm representing the draft of the speaker. What I've learned today is that the communication department has got a very big role, and the Padam 7 in particular. So I think, therefore, they need so much of our support to fulfill what actually, in brief, what we've had today. So that's what I feel for now.
Thank you. So you have the huge role carrying a big cross and your support. Yes.
Father, my name is Dr. Brahmanandra once again, and I have picked 3 points. When Atani was teaching us, I was saying that as media practitioners should practice or speak with the heart, truth, and love. Truth be told, sometimes we speak the truth with love, no, with heart, but without love. And sometimes when we speak, there is an incident. I will not speak where it happened and who, but somewhere, omuntu yamubiriza eri yagamba kamubiri yagenda mutukula mubiri yamwambia masasi amlo. So sometimes we are failed to express love in what we are doing. We promote malice than love. So I think as media practitioners we need to look back and see what we are supposed to do. Father, when I'm challenging man, whatever your function we all go there. But routine somewhere we have not gone. I think now the world is driving us to its own direction than us driving the world where it's supposed to go. We are polluting our own environment, and it's supposed to call it out. It is us to change the environment we are having in. Much as the media have house owners, the government, maybe some of the laws are not in favor of us, but still we still have a role to play as far as changing our environment is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I've learned that communication shouldn't be reduced to a marketing strategy. Some people have taken it as a tendency to cover stories where there is something street to door. So wherever there is nothing to earn, that story won't be publicized or won't be aired out. So I think we shouldn't reduce communication to that level. And another thing, we've been told that the heart is a symbol of love. So if you really talk from the heart, I think you should promote this hatred when you're communicating or maybe publishing the story. Let us be pure and let us bring out the story. This story that we are trying to bring out, let it help the community. Because I don't think we just read stories or read stories for the sake. I think it's supposed to sensitize, educate, and inform the people. So let us speak with love. Another thing, we should be examine. We don't have to speak just because we know these people. We have a certain politician and we are that close, so I should speak good about him or her and forget about the values, the importance of that specific event or that particular news that I'm covering. So to be overtaken by this relationship that we have with the people we are getting stories from. And of course to be patient and authentic so that we can dialogue well. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Alton. So, communication vis-a-vis handouts, isn't it?
Yes.
And then genuineness in storytelling. Good. Atoto.
Yeah, my name is Ambrose Atoto. This summit has reminded me of it's right, but just, that just one. Sometimes we go for stories. Yes, there are stories. And we do it for the sake of the story, because I have seen it, they have told me, and the one speaking, I trust him. What he says is always right, and we do stories. Not putting in mind what the brother father said, the beginning of that person, the effect, the impact. And it has taken me back. There is someone gave me a story, and when I went for the person to respond, that person called me and said, "But Katoto, I know you are my friend, or you are a friend of that person who has given you a story. Yes, we are going to do the story, even if I respond and I give you my side. But have you put in mind the impact you are going to cause to my school?" Because the school was giving out sewage. So there was a neighbor, he has a hotel, and the neighbor was up in the fires, was like, this school is damaging my customers and my hotel. But now the person over the school was like, you are going to write the story. Yes, it will be published and people will read it. But have you put in mind the impact you are going to cause in my story? Not today, maybe, but tomorrow. And you know that we are living together, and I'm already even in the process of making the sweat not even to go up. Then when the father was saying that thing, it's right, but they just think. It put me back to that thing. And when I didn't do the story, then the other person said, it seems they both. So sometimes, Father, we are in an environment where we don't know what we should do. Because this one is saying they both. When the actually said they didn't even both. And the other one was like, let me do this, and we are here. So we don't know. I don't know how we can have our environment back. The media doing the agenda setting. Thank you.
One time when we were celebrating the National Communications Day, the Right Honorable Taifa said, a blogger will write a story about you, which is completely not true, and then eventually that story makes money and the paper sells. Then when you go behind, I'm going to take you to court, why did you do this? I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And then the next publication, they put a disclaimer. But this person has already killed you, and where your name went, the disclaimer may not reach. Imagine it.
Thank you so much. My name is Immaculate Award. Me, I want to thank Father, Reverend Father Ateni and Mary. Thank you for that session and for that training you offered us and the knowledge you've given us. To me, I've learned a lot. About the heart, truth, and love, it is true. Kiamasi can correctly hika. At times we know the truth in our hearts. After knowing the truth in our hearts, but we do not have love, we want to possess it to you. Kike can bring up money to me. When I look at my program, in most cases, usanga yohereza abantu already abaine emitima ekuzereki ekwekereira alokwetagisa kubakora bamendira naye mwenyina kubaza olundi omutongo kwecwekacwekaira mukati ebyokubaza okulenga kubatereza omuye wenyina ekikozereki omutima gwabo meaning that ekintu ekikyonkola ni kama ukurolera nti ngatagambiteke what we communicate ekitubaza muskesi mtuwa obundabazani recklessly means that obundabazani careful maisanikyo nyegere mweto kumanye mbatizo omuntu nina kumubaliza kumutere umutima gwekoraki terenda nanyo terezeki wange oye bakutere that means that nabaza kujakoraki
Thank you so much, Immaculate. In other words, you are saying you learn from Father to speak something that is true and just and right, both combined. Thank you, Father. My name is Godfrey Sima. I learned two things. The first one is that when publishing stories, you should have humanity in our hearts. Mostly of us, when we are publishing stories, we leave that heart. Mostly when you find we go to church, but when publishing stories, we leave that humanity that we belong to the church. So I've learned that humanity is very crucial. Another thing which I've learned is that many of us, many journalists need quick stories, breaking news. But when I was in the journalism school, I learned what we call investigative journalism. When you make a research in Wema here, we don't have those people, investigative journalists. So it is very hard, it takes time, but it brings a good story. So we should be investigative. I have another question, it goes to you. In church there, we have people concerned with communication, but we have ignored those people. This goes to the Father. We have ignored those people. And this now goes to you, Father, who is in charge of communication, the whole diocese. Those people who are concerned with communication are not given any time in the church to do their work. Those letters which come from the diocese or the parishes, they're supposed to be read by those people to tell people what is happening in the world. But you find, or the catechist is not well knowing anything. He publishes something, he cannot be asked anything. So, at one time, I'm asking you, I'm begging that at one time, call those people, because you're the one concerned with them. Call those people who are concerned with the communication in the parishes, and the diocese. That we sit and see the way forward.
And those people who have been here, what is the for the Pharisees? So, thank you very much. So this is well as a lesson, as well as a challenge, as well as a recommendation. So 3 in 1. So I take it. I will not bring a point of defense.
What I picked from those moving up on that was that since we reflect our societies, actually we're a product of the citizen. But from a moral perspective, we also need to change the way media is. In other words, we do not seek to change the form, but the substance of that community, society. That we can tell our stories responsibly to change the substance of that society where we live in, to understand simple basics, how life must be, how life must be better, said with love. That's what I think. That maybe to add on more, that we need to be fair, accurate, truthful, and balanced, and as well as provide context in our stories. Not just come through some kichwekere, but what is the story behind? If some kichwekamulikiro, you tell it with love. I think with love is when you balance the story. This person has been accused of Kulia saying, what is his story? What is he saying? Is it true? Okusanga na ngamba noti nkaba kana mufisi ego tini mahalo kima ya maybe hotel utiwa na kangwego. Then tuwe na mno impact. Yes, tuwe na mno tell it, but ijakuleta impact for hamuntu wana vile. I think that's what I think. But to paraphrase, seeking to change the substance of our communities and not the form.
Yeah, thank you very much, Robert. Yes, I think more true. Ladies first. Oh, then 3 with the interest of you of 8 brothers. Yes, sir. Aneta.
kandi mwebale n'okwehayo okukola omulimu mu lugero gwaki ogw'ebyamahoro bakambira omulimu ogundi tukukole n'engonzi kino engonzi hali ziri hali zitali musaki kusobola kukolaki kubaho galimana n'okubasiima omulimu ogundi tukukola nakino engonzi bate kinyegere kiro kino tusengeje amahoro takako kusere tutakagatuukize ibure bolabo lichungire banzo lyegambiro naisekati mutima nogwokoleki oliturukiye kino kandi ekindi kinyegere muhotale bagambire tugenda tubyala emiti ulomuhija ogula omuti ogenda okubyala omuwawe niko gambire n'abantu bakoleki
Yes, so Steve.
If media is properly applied, it can be a great difference. And the reverse is true. Meaning, a media was and especially at some want to offer educative programs in Somesa. Arohom one, Arohom two, fully designed. So we expect learn from Inuit professional, Inuit or Kuwaza. Our presenter by the mountain, the media, the voice, the voiceless. Meaning, you were also going to cause a Puma one. I don't know what is out. I think that way it will go down by Museveni bw'abaali program yayi akatikiza asomesa esaala ebitabo n'akootinga nikola so tobalituweka so nebasomeremu ngo media emugaso bulungi ebyasomera kandi okusinza ku bulungi abo pawulo akozesa kubi niwenda alina ekizibu kyabyo nawe n'ebizibu byawo kabeera communication byona kusana okusenza obulungi kitolo.
Elder, in our session anyway,
thank you very much, coach, and I thank you very much, Reverend Father Sozi, your narrative. I have picked and I have learned when using the heart and the whole love. Then I talked about people who are using the microphones. To be very careful, otherwise you can find it that we have wounded some people. And then we hurt our people through our bad tongue and what have you. So that's very important. As he said, your Ubuntu.
Thank you very much. Are we all aware that media at some point caused genocide? True. Do you know that the origin of radio at some point was war? Yes? Yes. Not so? Yes. According to the history. So these are the challenges which church seeks to akuba bawimenda kurabyaho kwenda kwabo kurorango barwana and they are coordinated, and that's how it came to be. But must that be maintained? No. The last two discussants told us that there is lack of investigative stories, ignoring local communicators. In a way, we are doing micromanagement. Work that is supposed to be done by other people is being done collectively by someone, and that is against our principle of subsidiarity in the church, decentralization. That means these are pointing to challenges. In addition to these, what are other challenges? Yes.
Father, aliyo kwenganya niye ito omugenzo waita bambona masaka bamumanyire agenda nakabuze kabuzo erujalist or journalist. Rujalist namanyisa wana wakumana nabazo rujalist. So that is the challenge, by the way. Being rujalists than journalists. So we should
tuwehalu rujali akajali tikaitanswa.
So leka tukole ekuli supposed to kora. True, I think the biggest challenge the editors, the broadcasters, and partly I would say also maybe the reporters, because sometimes good stories can be killed by editors. Bad information could be aired by the broadcaster, I guess in point the 1994 one genocide. So these are some of the challenges. Abamu abagenda bahambe okubaza batasomere kubaza. Nibatamanya obwire obakubalizamu, nibatamanya okuba kubigambira. I think abamu bagenda batamanya n'obo bali supposed to kubaliza. So abagenda hambe okutekereze mu nekimukora mutakabaire genda hambe.
So you will classify it as content producers really good content. I think in messaging in this way, that before you go to seek for this content, you mobilize yourself. You get equipment. At no genda, Soroza story. Mark Soroza, no editing. Master editing, then you publish. So all that process.
I think different people. One of those does the right thing, another one does the different.
The story like in face. Good, Kapsa. You had an interjection.
Yeah. Just it's like a recommendation. You see, media is changing. It's about more online. Because these days, you need to have an online platform as well. In the app, I'm going to download it. Everywhere.
Now, there is a problem. Now everybody can own media, and Uganda Communications Commission taking capacity. Your commentary. As we are talking now, a new Facebook page, a Kingura, Twitter, news site, and a whole of bastardization. Hati ito ngabali traditional media, very trending. To understand that this media is changing, we need to change with it, or it changes us. What Father is saying about Gabo Musai, what is behind Gabo Musai? The story should be Musai Kunuya. Kapulikiro Kaposobizo Musai Hawatu Mugaro Butani. You change agent out, Kurenga Okora, Kura Bantu accounting, etc. And what I'm envisaging, we risk losing relevance. Timulia. Omunga jaga ai abu bayalo wanya kato bayalo mwana kama ayasi babayenga tubuli bintu bese nati nibajja tikubuliriza kangena social media. Not everybody can break a story, but are accurate, but are truthful, but are balanced. Kionka role ya traditional media iliyokugenda behind the story, providing a context. Hii bagamira with love. With love means kwenda mulimo gwao. Omulimo gwao wano kuwenda togusiisa. Olenga obubaki. So let me ask you here. When we misuse media, do we want to say when omulimo gwao tugwenda?
So there is a story behind stories.
Yes.
So that will bring managers to account, isn't it? Then we shall be doing our work. Good. Okay.
Mutegereze bintu bingi. One, benikora summary yange for flexibility, adaptability na ability bibigambo bikuru kuba kuri media. Hati abanyamakuru baza balizauga agenda settings yo AST. Lakini kino kikalekwa umunyamakuru that was 1920 bamwetaga Walter Lippmann, and in 1960s Jacob Wam, another journalist was called